has taken to them gracefully. It is excellent to have wonderful quarters and hot food and really whatever you could require for your stay. Many of them having taken a look at the library, but they don't have a cool crystal, and it would take more than a lifetime to even find something that would relate to them in some way, shape, or form. A thing you've noticed now that you've been here for a while is that the little sort of rock creatures here are constantly moving about, adding things or hearing things. And it is quite clear that although this library certainly is highly magical, the gathered information is mostly gathered by people from the outside. Uh, Many tomes and such will have like little references as to who acquired this knowledge for the library, and I credit them to them. Looking around, you, for example, get the idea that the Society of Brilliance have offered much knowledge to the library. Uh, Perhaps one of their sort of actual purposes. It appears, as you well know, that there are many rooms. Who knows if they're even if you could ever find the last one. Everything seems to expand or grow smaller or move, really as it wishes, without any concern for physical space or time. You have recently just looked up at all this information, and well, I suppose we'll have Riordan and Liam going off to look at some other stuff. You know, well, leaving the three of you to be the people who have to decide what they want to do now.
If I recall, last time we were supposed to go speak to some wizard after finding out something else. I don't remember the details.
Yes, the Drow Wizard. Although, before we do, there's definitely one more topic that Gesh wants to inquire about. He's going to... I mean, he's not really going to use the exact words, but heavily going to suggest the others that this might be something he wants to inquire about alone. In an attempt to not break his whole near oath of always being honest with the party, but also maybe not tempting them to actually intervene, because he wants to inquire about his own patron, see what the library has got on her. Because, well, he's in the library where he's supposed to be. He's still not entirely sure what he's supposed to do here. Maybe meet with that wizard and find out how to beat the demon princess, whatever. Or maybe something else. Maybe that guy is just going to be totally useless and he just hasn't found the right thing yet. But either way, he's too curious not to see.
Does he inform the others about?
He would pretty much say that there's something he wants to look up, but it would be best if he did it himself. It would not be entirely irrelevant to Riordan, but Gesh would heavily suggest that Riordan doesn't get involved.
He's busy anyway.
Anyone who's not completely oblivious to what Gesh is all about would probably know what he means to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Riordan's a bit too busy to go with you, and Cirilla's not interested in looking up your dark, benevolent patron.
Maybe Riordan discovered that the room he had would never run out of food, and so he's feeling ill now.
That's true.
Having to eat as much as he could.
Roland would take like a heavy look at Gesh for a few moments, kind of like trying to like gauge him, and then just shrug and let him go. He doesn't. Yeah, I don't imagine Roland's sensing any malice from Gesh. So whatever.
You're just gonna go to your rooms too, and
Cirilla has some bits that she would like to investigate as well while they're here. But
Roland's got what he needs for the exact moment.
Yeah.
So he'll return to his room for now.
For now, I'm interested in as a player, Gesh.
so Gesh is left alone to his joy.
if you start researching how to kill us all, I'm going to.
I mean, if he wants to do it alone, then that's his prerogative. I mean, if he asks, then sure, but if he wants to do it alone, I won't follow him.
On the one hand, trying to find out more about, like, the old gods beyond time and space is always a stupid idea. On the other hand, we looked into the abyss and had Lolth scream at us, and we are safe, so surely nothing bad can happen. Besides, it's not like Gesh is pretty much trying to do exactly what he's been told by his patron, so surely. Just needs more information. Not too much to ask.
He wants to know what to do.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that every, like, clerical person's thought is, what do they do next?
What should I do?
Yeah.
I did what you asked, but I don't see the light.
Yeah. I don't see where you want me to go next.
The Night Serpent. Denda, the elder evil and primordial of, well, nightmares and horrors, you know, the being foretold to be the first sign the world, that when it shows itself, the world will die, is not usually the one giving out information. Usually, people dream terrible things or experience terrible things, and Denda takes them away to feed herself, to grow and to cover herself in the darkest of scales, made only from the worst terrors of living creatures. However, asking or looking into it, he can find much of old cults and such things, you know, histories of the terrible things that cultists and people of Dendar have tried to do. Many doomsday cults trying to sign in the end of the world by calling upon Dendar and trying to wake her so she will devour the living and the dead. You can see the tribal people dancing, you know, praying that you know, trying to pray and dance and celebrate Dendar so that she will not devour the sun and doom everything, as their legends say she will. In the north, you know, the big burly people of Icewind Dale celebrate the defeat of a worm, a long serpentine dragon, as it symbolizes the end of the nightmare that Dendar will bring upon the world when she eats the tree of life and destroys everything. That is sort of the general thing. However, there is no future information here regarding Dendar. What you do get a sense of in terms of your mission depends actually a little bit on how well Gesh can actually, you know, understand it. There's a lot of this, and I mean, does it mean anything? There's nothing that says, Gesh, this book is for you. You know, this is what you should do. But he can certainly try to interpret what Denda might want him to do from the information available to him. Does that make sense?
All right. How?
Well, I mean, generally, a religion check would be great. If you do not have that, then I would suggest an intelligence check. You do worship Dendar, you'll have advantage on it.
See how smart Gesh is. I'll just roll. I mean, religion is intelligence, so I'm just going to do that. For a 10.
All right. Well, you remember the dreams that Gesh has had, showing how Dendar wrapped slowly around the world, eons and eons of coiling around it, slowly strangling it while enjoying the pain and suffering that comes from that slow strangling. He remembers how in the dream, strange shadowy goop and spikes began erupting from the world, far too much suffering for Dendar to enjoy it. The slow feeding, the delicious meal turning into more of a horrid vortex before the world soon was empty of anything. This does not please Dendar. Dendar does not want the world to be destroyed, because that would end the delicious meal that it is. Dendar wants these demons gone. Wants them to be mm, extinguished. Now, Gesh's mission has been so far, or at least mission, if you will, more like he has been consistently dreaming of going to the library, which is here. Which probably means that Dendar had some purpose in coming here. This purpose is something he can think about with his check, and it's quite obvious that, well, this wizard certainly is conveniently here at the same time. If that is a lead that could be followed, that would be great, but who knows if there's something else? I mean, maybe there is something Dendar wanted to find. Maybe there is some other way that this could be accomplished. There's just very little closure here. And clearly his patron has led him here, but, with the purpose of ending the demon threat, but beyond that, there's very little for him to find.
All right. Well, other than that, there was one more thing I wanted to exhaust. In the dream that Gesh had, he basically found himself in the library, as far as I remember, and walked through a set of doors. Is it just a generic set of doors? Do all the doors look like what he saw, or might that be a specific place that he can find in the library somewhere?
The doors all look similar, but everything in the library is unique. Things all look the same to people who don't look clearly. Like, you look at a bookshelf, you're like, that's a bookshelf like the other bookshelf, but the books on it are different books. There's probably no duplicates in the library by itself. Sure, he could go exploring the library trying to find this place.
Then Gesh will do that.
Mhm.
No time pressure.
Yeah, he indeed has as much time as he could ever want. Let's see here. There we go. Yes, to find a particular place, such as floor or period in history, you will need to do a wisdom check.
Great. I am not made for this library. as it
You're
turns out.
so wise. Maybe you're gonna need Cyrilla's help to find this door.
If only you were a cleric.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll use insight because, yeah, I rolled a 0.
Wow.
Gesh knows what she's looking for, but as he walks around, it's hard enough to find your way, with that check anywhere. But in a non-3D space that keeps moving about by thought, it becomes nigh impossible. He thinks, like, I want to go here, and then it takes him to, a section about doorways and their construction. He goes, no, that's not what I wanted. And then it takes him to a section about political objections. It's not that easy to navigate, turns out, though clear thoughts seems to be the way of it. Just figuring out what you're actually looking for might be hard. Then again,
Sassy.
you have near infinite time. There's no reason you shouldn't keep doing it, right?
You could ask for help.
This doesn't really concern anyone else.
You can just try again.
I mean, Gesh doesn't want to leave this place before he knows why it's so important.
Just leaves it and keeps dreaming about it, like,
Damn it. I mean, for now, there's one more specific and potentially interesting lead, which is talking to the wizard. So maybe he'll go back to all of our quarters. So we can do that first before he once again dives into being frustrated about how the library doesn't know what he's doing. Like trying to Google something, but you don't know the exact words, so it just suggests.
trying to Google
terrible
something in a
things.
different language by using Google Translate to translate your
Oh.
prompt.
Yeah. Well, I've certainly got a couple of things I would like to have a look into.
Right.
Last time I mentioned looking into like the madnesses, the demonic madnesses. And I think she's going to start off with looking into Durandal's specific madness.
Sure, you want to look into what is known.
Yes.
This is of demon lords.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how are you going to do that?
Um,
What are you asking or looking for in the library to learn about this?
I can't remember which demon it was that probably corrupted
Probably
him.
the Minotaur one?
Possibly.
You can certainly find information about Bahamut, the god of savagery and prince of beasts.
My mind kept hearing it's the god of dragons. Oh, no.
It's not Bahamut.
It's Bahamut.
Baphomet?
Baphomet? I don't know.
Believes civilization is weakness and that only in savagery can strength exists.
See, that doesn't quite sound like...
Exists within the endless maze.
I mean, I don't think there's any demon lord or prince or whatever who, as his portfolio, has making people really nice.
Well, yeah, although it's tormenting the person inside, isn't it? It's like trapping them in their own body. I don't know. I suppose she would be looking at... I suppose she could look at Baphomet first. Just specifically looking into what his corruption can cause to start with. Then we can just go down the list if I keep failing at it.
Yeah, the
7
demon
more
lord
to go.
seems to be something the library is very readily delivering to you. Of course, the librarians already told you that this place is made with the purpose of safekeeping the existence of their people.
Yep.
And you, in this, are given what you need to help do things that are useful to safekeeping their people. At least that's the stuff they research. So they know this stuff because they think it might be important.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, for example, a man, on a field, walking about. He looks to be a farmer, just gentle man petting his beast. He's driving his flock into a pen. One of the animals steps on his foot. And the next is a scene of him standing in the gore of having slaughtered every single one of them. Behind him, his house is burning, bodies on the ground of what was probably his family, and yet he seems to be fuming with intense anger and rage. You see another thing. A man walking, cloaked, perhaps, but if only in the veil of high society. Nice, sort of noble clothes, a smile, shaking hands, white gloves, waving. And then you see him, another side of him, killing innocent bystander who just happened to be there when no one else was, available for hunting, delicious to catch and kill. The more examples you see are all about murder, destruction, turning into a beast rather than a human being, losing your sense of civilized behavior, outbursts of anger, intense rage, murder, stalking. These things are what Bahamut like.
And a draw reverse of what we got.
Literally the reverse. Okay.
Wait, here's a question then. I'm curious though. Would we know who's like the enemy of that demon lord would be then?
Oh,
His
demon lords don't have friends.
I mean, is there someone he's like? Would other players do we know someone he's like particularly like feuded with or anything like that? Good question then.
I mean,
Yeah, that could have gone Spider.
It's true.
Bahamut is not. At least nothing really shows for him having a mortal enemy other than all civilization that exists.
Okay.
Okay, so
Maybe like whichever. What one had like the which demon lord had the succubus under it?
Hmm?
Which demon lord had that succubus under it? Do you remember?
Rast.
Maybe that direction.
I
could go?
remember getting very little about him because the library brought you to him instead of showing you anything about him. Perhaps a way to block out what the library might know of someone is to be here.
interesting.
You guys can't search about us because we're just someone else.
Okay, so
But you would certainly know at this point that Grast is the Dark Prince, demon lord of seduction and lust and desire. Prone to make people feel hedonistic and jealous.
not quite right.
Not quite right.
Well, I'm no expert in demons, but I think that Cyrilla would have more of an idea than I would.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So perhaps she could do like a religion check to see what demon lord would probably fit best.
Sure.
You know,
Guidance?
I'm gonna guidance myself because I can. Oh, not yet. No point.
Oh,
A 2 and a 5.
Demon would be good? No, there's no demon lord that could ever make anyone be good.
2 and a 4 even. Yeah.
She basically can't think of it. Like, there's so many of them, and the names get a little jumbled about sometimes. Like, what exactly does Demogorgon do when he meets Jublix in a hallway? I mean, who knows, right? Like, it's all bad, evil stuff, and maybe that's what her teacher told her back when. Like, she's like, "Oh, which demon lord would make people good?" And he said, "No one,
Okay.
Cyrilla. No demon lord would be good to serve, Cyrilla. Do you have any other questions?" No?
All right.
Sorry, Malachi. Now I'm matching Demo Jublix. The two of them combining together.
My next thought and what I was going to do last session was the librarian that is of the past. He said he has much time
Yes.
to speak.
Documents past, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So perhaps Cyrilla can speak to him, and he should have a good idea of which demon would have this. I can't think of the word. Which demon would probably be responsible for this sort of corruption?
She can certainly go there. He is in the hall, available as it were, staring out into space, likely doing some mental exercise or work.
Mm-hmm.
So he turns to her and looks down at her tiny shape as she approaches.
Shall say a good to see you again, I suppose. I have a few questions to ask.
Of course, I am available to answer them, as far as the library goes.
Nods and says, "That's great." I am looking into a demonic corruption that transformed. I can't think of the name of the creature now. What was Durandil? A Quaggoth, that was it. I should say a Quaggoth was trapped inside his own body with a personality that took over as an elf prince that he in all forms believed that he was. I myself can't think of what Demon Lord would create a corruption like that.
Demon lords are many, yet not a dozen exists today. There are many fiends, but those who are not named demon lords have not come here. In the past, there's a tale of a famous demon hunter. In a world called Oath, far off, in a different plane and time. This demon hunter was destined to strike down the greatest of demons, hunted them down viciously. Yet over time, decades, the methods became more and more extreme. Ever was there new heights to strive to. A slight sacrifice to gain much victory. In the end, as the hunter looked upon the face of the dying demon before them, they felt upon their shoulder the hand of another. This, however, to them was a familiar feeling, for they had now had it for years. There is one demon lord whose name is hard to speak, because so few know of it. Or perhaps it is just that there are so many. The Prince of Deception would likely be who you seek.
She will nod and say that would, by the name itself, make a lot of sense.
Careful with him. He is one of the most dangerous of their lot.
She nods.
Misinformation is truly the greatest harm can be done.
And for the Demon Lord of Irony.
So do I. A Demon Lord of Deception can be very deceiving.
I hope you have good insight.
I have good insight, so. Sorry, we'll say thank you for your wisdom.
Yes, if you require any more aid, feel free to come speak to me.
She nods. Says, I think with the stone I can find what I seek.
He nods. Turns back to look at something too high for her to see.
And then she's going to look into the Prince of Deception's corruption.
Sure. You'll have to bring Gesh, of course, because he's the one who has the stone.
Yash, either need the stone or come with me.
Alright,
What?
we'll come with you.
Road trip.
Road trip. Do you want to come with Roland? It's up to you.
You want to drag Roland out of his room?
I mean, if you want to come, then you can, but I'm not going to drag you.
I mean, you've got nothing else to do, so.
Alright. Road trip.
I've got great insight as well, so it's fine. Surely we can see for a Demon Prince of Deception's deception, right?
Looking into the deceptional madness, you see simply people going about their day, doing nothing that seems cruel or evil. Sure, when the husband comes home, he says to the wife that she needn't worry, they have enough money to make it through the winter. It's fine. Though in truth, as the Watchers, you know that that's not entirely true. A little white lie here, a little one there, just a slight deviation from the truth. And from each one of these seemingly harmless acts, something stirs and grows. Most of what you see is when loved ones lie to one another. And slowly the deceptions grow, the web of lies expand. As you look deeper into it, you begin to see people who lie for no reason, who just seem to have some joy in it. People who have strange political ideas that seem unfounded, but that they are still entirely assured of. People who have a vision that they follow for their entire life, which then turns out to not have happened. Things that are impossible to really figure out. On their deathbed, an oracle, having sought a star she saw in her childhood her whole life. In the moment just before she closes her eyes the final time, she realizes how much in vain her life has been. And that feeds the darkness it stirs. Whatever you see of this madness, it is subtle. So subtle that the people who suffer from it, all them people close to them, might have no idea for their whole lives. It seems, as you look into what kind of worshippers and cults there are, you see a sun cult, worshipping the sun, the brightness it gives. You see many people doing good things, charities, all these things, doing things because they had a dream when they were a child, or they saw something, or they had an experience that changed their lives. You see a young warrior going to slay the dragon for his town because for some reason he believes this is what he has to do. These things are the madness of the deceiver. Manipulating people to do things that are not themselves, without their or anyone else's knowledge. Good or evil, it does not matter, as long as the person's choice is taken away from them. That is what matters.
Okay. Seems like so if they're just subtle things, then it's well, it seems like it could match. It doesn't
It certainly could.
quite fit.
Admittedly, there is the question, of course, did he get direct exposure instead of like latent exposure?
True. But we haven't seen any evidence.
Direct exposure could end up creating something more dramatic like that. So
Yeah.
once again, it still matches the idea of like he was out of control. He could control what his actions were.
It's possible, but
He
then
deceived even himself. So
Mhm. It's possible.
it's just it seems like a very extreme version, though. It's true.
His name, as you search around, at least the one you find, is Fraz Blue.
Okay.
Can you spell that?
I can. I have that ability.
There's a question we commonly ask.
I mean, understandably, I would add, because not all of these guys are entirely straightforward.
In fairness, I would never be able to spell my Demon Lords one without your help. I think.
Yeah, so I think that although it could fit, it would have to be like a direct influence, and then even then, I'm still not. What I asked my Leaky was, is there a way to bring Darren Dill back without that she would approve of. And she said that there is. And as far as I'm aware, Myliki isn't all into demonic corruption.
Well, she's totally into celestial corruption, right?
Well, isn't that just what a cleric is, right?
You said it.
So, I'm still not seeing a way.
What if this place has anything on Darren do himself?
Good shout. What does
The
it?
name Darendil makes nothing happen. Such a person probably never existed.
I don't remember what his...
I think we learned his Korgoth name.
No, I don't think he gave us his Korgoth name.
I mean, he was kind of. I mean, none of us were there for that. Only your character was there for that, and you were, and he was kind of angry.
Yeah, he was sort of angry.
You know, if it wasn't for my dear's fate, you know, it wasn't for my dear, he would have tried killing you.
Yeah. And he tried killing me in the dream.
Okay, we had calm emotions.
Yes.
Well, other me. Dear me.
But... Yeah.
Is there somewhere in the Underdark we know Korgoths are really common?
August are fairly common in the Underdark.
Okay.
The history is that once they lived on the Arctic tundras and plains. However, the High and Wood Elves joined together to send them below because they didn't like them much.
Okay.
And so they banished them from the surface, sending them down and sort of kept them in the Underdark. And that is where they are.
Okay, I was just
And
wondering.
that is why there is eternal enmity from the Korgoths against Elfkind, because they doomed their race into degeneracy.
I was just wondering if like a certain area we could like research like demon lords in, like the demon lord activity, and if there's not a certain area Korgoths tend to be in, that doesn't really work.
I mean, on your map, you have already sort of looked into a lot of the demon lords and got an idea of where you think they might be. That's the thing about them. As long as they're in this place, they will be in a physical space.
Yes.
Their power probably radiating out from wherever they are.
Which worries me because Jublex is his bowling ball. Just running around the place. Jublex?
Yes. I don't know. Okay, well I can't think of anything further to look down. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, can we look into more stuff than just like events and stuff using the library? Into more
Probably, yeah.
information?
Yeah.
Because one thing Roland would like to know about, even if he can't use it like in any like recent period of time, is see if he can learn, say for example, the general layout of Menzoberranzan.
Menzoberranzan, you want a map of that?
Basically,
Yes.
yes.
Library can bring you that.
Because hey, having information about like the layout of the place at least is a good first step.
Yep.
Yes, you can easily find them. It is a huge drow city, though it also has significant amounts of Duergar and even Swiftniblin in it. It is pretty cosmopolitan, built basically in a massive cavern with a river running through it, and then sort of tall spires filling the ground. A lot of them have like spider webs covered them. City of spiders and all. Center is a bazaar. But other big bazaar where sort of great trade, especially slave trade, happens. Beyond that, each noble house has their own like section. Then of course there is the high temple, and the Academy of Drow Magic. That's another land.
Mhm.
Are there like temples dotted around the place? I presume, like different, such like certain like demon lords or whatever. Loth.
No, Lolth. Lolth is the one.
Does she have like a huge? Is it like a like a huge cathedral kind of?
They have a temple of Lolth. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
The priesthood of Lolth rules the city. With the high nobles. Only women are allowed to rule.
Of course, they're drow. Well, Sorella, you guess what? You're 5% slightly more important than I am. We're both still elves. We're still going to get murdered, but you know.
Yep.
You're slightly more important. Let's go.
It's true.
Well, she's probably going to get murdered more.
That's true. Being less important is actually more of a better thing.
Yeah, you could be. You're more likely to be made a horrible slave.
You're a cleric as well, which is even worse.
But if you have any other questions in the library, do feel free to ask. And if you don't, then you can do whatever else you want.
Yeah, because we can think basically, is there like anything like knowledge-wise you want to know about? Like, anything you want to like learn about in the Underdark? Is there any like events you want to know about? We've got all kinds of options. Any NPCs we want to learn about?
Yeah. I've been kind of putting it off, but I think it's probably best to check. Well, Cyril has also been putting it off. She feels that it's probably best that she checks on her uncle. And as she's in a place.
Find that there is no information in the library about things that happen above the Underdark.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't care. the stone giants here don't care.
Fair.
So they simply don't record it.
Which also means you probably won't find anything on my leaky here.
No, that's fine. But
The limit is mainly the Underdark focused on the stone giant history and their survival and importance in the world.
I mean, that in on itself says that he's not come down and fucked shit up in the Underdark. So
Yet.
yeah,
He certainly seems
well,
to
actually no, it would be different.
give you nothing.
So that's good news, basically. I'm fine with that.
I suppose one thing we could try is, do you remember the Lord's Alliance?
Yeah.
They had like people they wanted us to try and find, right? Like the elves did. The elves like people they wanted us to find.
I don't remember.
Or they're like some of their agents. They want to try and reunite their network.
I don't remember that.
It's true though.
I don't know the exact details about it, but perhaps we can ask something on that topic.
Let's see. I've got notes about that. Let me check.
As I mind is trying to go through like all the events relating to the Underdark I can.
Let's see. Lord's Alliance. Find Kalessa Draga in Menzo Baranza. Their agents are disguised as drow. Also, the Archmage that apparently made this all happen was Gromf Benreth. At least that's what my notes say. I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Well, maybe we can get hit on either of these stuff.
We can try. I'm gonna try.
Looking for Grumpf. Will reveal to you easily enough that Grumpf is or was, because there's no very recent information really, a very powerful drow demonologist and an archmage of the Academy. Known for being ruthless and for being completely and utterly for the priesthood.
Interesting.
Though perhaps you do, using the library's power, managed to interpret that the reason for his piety was perhaps more political than faith.
Getting favors from the council because he seems so pious.
Mm-hmm. A sly man.
I mean, is that the definition of drow? Sly backstabbers.
Not a bad one. Or should I have to continue using the library if you have no more questions?
Yeah, do we have any? Yeah, can we find anything about?
Revisit it and regret later if there's anything you missed.
Find anything about the agent for Lord's Alliance who was like disguised as a drow in Branson, or nothing?
You can, if nothing else, find out that that there are and have been agents in Esperanza. Looking for information on that, there's a lot of records of people having been caught, basically.
Okay.
Executed, eaten by spiders. Terrible things happen to them. You see little creatures crawling on all like four legs, just in through people's ear canals, eating their brain and supplanting themselves in there. The city is so big that anyone wants to have spies in there. Myriads of them. And so the way they catch them is also very sophisticated. You do, however, see something that might be of use to you. A hat that, when removed, will reveal who the person truly is. Though while they wear it, they are completely drow.
It's a hat of disguise.
Whoever you're looking for is probably wearing a hat.
I mean, it's some information.
We go into Men's Branson, and it's Hat Festival. Everybody must wear a hat.
As decreed by the High Priesthood.
They love them hats.
But it seems that spies in Minster Branson is a big. And who knows, if they're good spies, they probably won't be in here.
Sure.
And most of the ones you see here, end up being killed.
Let's see, what else can I think of? We could always look into like we could look more into like Crimson Dewlock, I suppose, if we really want to do this.
But also that Beholder Master or whatever, who was going to give us wishes for Beholder corpses.
Hmm.
But we might as well gather all the information we can while we're here.
Every name we've ever heard.
I mean, everyone we think have had some impact in the underdog. We ignore everyone on the surface.
So you wish to look into Zarax, the Eyemonger.
Yes, that guy. I know.
Yeah, you see a chasm, massive in scope, and in the ceiling of it, a carved out stone beholder face with a gaping maw. Out of this maw hovers a beholder, bigger than any you have ever seen. Given you've only seen one, that maybe doesn't say much, but probably also bigger than they should be. Upon its body is grafted dozens of beholder eyes, all moving and staring as it moves. The normal amount just surpassed by far. It appears old, ancient even, its teeth sharp as adamantine sort of scythes. As it hovers down through the air, around it you see slaves, humans, elves, Swervneblin, drow, all mining and working, carving out more statuary, more shows of how grand this creature is. It looks upon them and feels perhaps only a dissatisfaction with the lack of more of them. You see it, a man bowing before it, having upon his forehead tattooed 10 eyes. He sees beyond everything, and he serves this creature. Behind him, kneeling as well, you see a small figure you recognize. Peoples.
Okay. What?
Beyond that, you know that this creature exists within the worm writhings, in a domain of its own creation, king of its own halls. Very well. Yes, I suppose you should take my niece to the edge of the forest. As you look upon this vision, something in it draws your attention to it. Not what is shown, but in the background. You see this image of this creature, this big, massive beholder hovering, and behind it is a closed stone door with its own image upon it. That, for some reason, draws your eye straight to it. Then the vision ends, the library having shown you this creature.
Uh-huh.
Then, still, though, I shall tell you what I know, if you truly wish it. Dr. Darendale. I did not say I would take you to a hidden kingdom. I said I would inform you about.
Y'all
want to go talk to the wizard? It is a word, you see.
One
Not
more,
an
one
elven
more. I've got
word,
one more.
no, but a
Okay.
word in Quackos.
What's
Few
Fember
speak
shot
that
up to?
tongue still. It
Thimba
means
Chard.
freedom. Yes. You see a dragon, a tiny dragon, brought in by the dwarves, his origin perhaps, raised by them, taught to walk and breathe fire and battle, even wear armor for a time. Growing bigger and bigger, you see the dwarves look to him now with fear. In the present, Thembachad is ruling the city of Gracklesteer. Perhaps, yes, the king sits the throne, but you see Thembachad coiled around it, perhaps imitating the way Denda coils around the earth, slowly eating it up, desiring it, devouring it. The dragon freed from its demonic lethargy, free to let its ambition and power travel through the place. You see a house slowly crack and break as the stone begins to melt. The lair power of this dragon spreading through across the city. Demonic creatures and hosts are not upon this dragon's mind. It is a power in and of itself, and has designs for this city. Grand designs that it cannot let demons interfere with.
Alright. I mean, good on him. That's all I can think of.
All right.
Mm. Mm.
Well, sure. You can always think of more stuff until you leave this place. Then who knows when you'll ever be back, if ever.
Sure.
Yeah, but you have the initiative, really. Nothing terrible is currently going on for you to react to, as such. Well, not here, anyway.
Because there is only one other thing which I got partly curious about, admittedly,
Mm-hmm.
which was part of me was curious to see if anything came up on Dawnbringer.
Dawnbringer, the Light Crusader. Yes, Dawnbringer is an ancient blade. And as you look for it, you can indeed see that it is a blade with a history. Many times have it been wielded for good, banishing demons, liches, devils, cultists, dragons, all sorts of evil. Always bought or carried by a champion, always a different champion. The one thing that remains the same is the blade, carried into battle by righteous people for a righteous cause. Many times the person has lost, defeated, destroyed, the blade captured and placed in some dark place, though it appears that it is always found again. At least so far. It has never been forever lost. The most recent part of it is you having it in the library.
Sure, it's right here on my hilt.
Mhm.
Or my like belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has not, however, been in the Underdark for its entire history, and what is above is not really available.
Okay. I was just curious if anything else big would pop up for its time in the Underdark. So.
No, I mean it's a more, on the grand scheme of things, more recent addition to the Underdark, and it hasn't done too many things while staying here, though it's been wielded by many people with good causes.
And one were hyena.
I mean, that too.
I mean,
Overall,
that was a short episode. Okay, a few months of episode, but
yeah.
All right, I got nothing for the moment. Wizard?
You can go look for this person.
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Sure. Going to look for him, you will basically just have to go to look at the rooms. One of them has. You notice each room has a name tag on the outside of it to show who's in there, who lives there, and one of them has a name you remember. That being Vizeran Devere.
I guess we knock.
Knocking, the door is quickly opened, and a beautiful face meets you
Ah,
as the death slad opens the door with a big, meaty, necrotic claw.
Where are we?
It chuckles slightly to itself, throaty, as it were, and then it steps aside, letting you into the room where you see a drow sitting with several thick tomes, probably from the library, scowling as he reads them, before looking up at you, turning, and then raising an eyebrow.
I believe you were wanting to talk to us.
Yes, I believe so. And you to me, I should think. I've been waiting here for quite some time.
Well, time is very difficult in this place, isn't it?
You know, it's. Yes, however, outside time flows quickly. There's much to do, especially with these recent events.
So, what was it you were going to talk to us about? I
Come in,
believe you had.
sit down. This place has tea enough for all of us.
I guess we can make time for tea then.
Cleves goes to stand in the corner, looking. As the wizard will go sit down on the chairs that are now here. You have been looking into demons, I know. I have been looking at the same thing. I thought we might want to work together. If you are not here to worship them, and I imagine you are not, so looks at you, then working together to stop them in whatever they're trying to do would be to all of our benefits, no?
It would be indeed, but knowing things about them is one thing. We need to find a way to stop them. But they are powerful creatures.
So are you, however. At least as far as I can tell. You've gotten this far. Why don't you tell me your story? Perhaps then I have a suggestion for you.
Oh, our bard isn't here.
Why would your story depend on ours? Or your suggestion depend on our story?
Because
If we're
I
powerful,
waste no time with the weak or those who are unuseful to me. If your story is true, and I'm rather adept at telling if it is, then you might be the people I'm looking for. You see, I have a plan, something in mind. However, I'm unable to do it by myself.
all right, fair enough.
Please spare no detail. I am not squeamish.
If you insist, of course.
He leans back with tea.
I think Gesh will tell the story then.
Mhm.
But he wants to have a little bit of fun with this, so he is going to pretty much embellish the hell out of it. You know, we weren't like kidnapped one by one. We were like taken by an army of drow who had to have us for their ritual, but we were so
As soon
awesome
as
that
he
we
begins these things, he raises a hand and says, "Fine, you can leave. If you're not ready to take this seriously, then I suppose you can go outside until you grow up enough to understand that demons in the Underdark is no joking matter."
Gesh scoffs. Fair enough. Although I wasn't entirely exaggerating, our beginning at least was more humble. Still, I guess resort to telling the actual story.
Vizeran scowls the entire time, sipping his tea, which, as you will discover upon drinking your own, is incredibly bitter. Just no sweeteners, just straight up dark and very, very bitter. As bitter as an old man's hatred, perhaps even.
Wow.
That's pretty damn bitter.
Yeah. He listens, nodding to himself, slightly mumbling a few things, even sometimes looking in some of his books for the parts that might be boring to him, or at least less interesting, though it seems he listens all the same. At the end of it, a rather lengthy tale, perhaps even all of you taking turns to tell it. He looks at you as you finish it, perhaps, and then we entered your room.
Yeah.
It would take several hours an episode on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Some would say somewhere in the region of 39 4-hour-long videos.
It's a long talk. He does ask you to speed up the combat sometimes. Don't do that.
And then Liam stabbed him and moved 10 feet, and then Gesh moved 10 feet and used his... Oh.
He used a spell called
Look, he wanted details.
bonus action, and I know you can't use that because it's not a cantrip, and you've already used a normal spell.
Then
I
stabbed
gave you before a name, the name of Grumph. I understand you have looked into it, yes?
Oh yes, of course.
The imbecile is the one who brought this down upon us by using the Fairrest to achieve his summoning. I, however, do not believe he intended this result. He says with a sneer, a slight smirk, perhaps, as if the failure of this other wizard is somewhat to his joy. Now, I said I had a proposition for you, and I do. I can save you months of research. Time we don't have, really. The information I have found here has confirmed all of my theories, and I know how to banish the demon lords back to the abyss. He looks at you, smiling slightly, expecting your appreciation.
I mean, I think this guy is important enough that Gesh will actually try to suck up to him. So he'll quite intentionally look very, very eager and impressed. Sort of nodding for him to continue.
Takes a long sip of his tea. We can only do this, however, if we work together. If you are willing and daring enough to directly challenge the demon lords, perhaps I should say foolhardy. She looks at you. Your story certainly indicates the latter.
It is only foolhardy if there's failure involved.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's bravery. In the histories, anyways.
Now, I have, I think, said enough to get you interested, no? This place, by its very nature, has ears, and I know that there is more than one servant of the dark forces within, seeking information, likely about what we are doing. Something that might suggest we in the future will do rather well. I will invite you, therefore, instead to my home, some distance from this place. It will be known to the few who know of it as the Tower of Vengeance. You will go there, or I will take you there. And then we shall speak of specifics.
I think that's an excellent idea. If you could expedite our travels, that would be very beneficial. We have many people following us. We travel rather slowly.
Given your tale, I believe I was the one who allowed you to come here in the first place.
That could be the case.
Very well, then. I hope we shall be seen as partners in this, then. Let us together extinguish the darkness from this underground lair. None of us desire for demons to rule the world.
That is very true.
Excellent. If you wish to come with me, we will leave soon. If you wish to go by yourselves, I will give you the location. However, it will take time that I do not believe is well spent traveling.
I agree.
He looks to the rest of you. You're very quiet. Letting your leader speak for you is admirable, but I do prefer to work with people who have their own voices.
Cyril will laugh, like straight up laugh when he says your leader.
It did seem that he wanted to provoke a response.
Gash will telepathically tell Cyrilla, I led you here, didn't I? Doesn't that make me a leader?
No, it means that you showed a path which ultimately wasn't your path that you had. You were given it, and were given a stone, and then we followed a singing basilisk. I don't think you led us anywhere.
And looks from Gesh to Cyrilla as she says that.
Gash sort of looks towards the drow and just shrugs.
Roller just rolling his eyes at the two of them.
Perhaps you are intimidated by my stature. Your people have ever been quick to judge mine, I understand.
I think it works vice versa.
Rest assured that we are not ones to judge anyone quickly.
You don't judge me.
Not
Excellent.
anymore, no.
My people are fiends, the best of them. However, Lingans as yours are likely similar.
Oh, without doubt, some of them are fiendish, including some of my family. But just like in your,
Obvious about it.
just like your race, with yourself included, there are some good people in it.
He scowls. Yes, now, do you have any other questions, or are you ready to travel and leave this place? If you have more research you wish to do, I would suggest doing that before we go. Leaving by teleportation is risky, and it will make it rather difficult for you to find this place again, if ever.
Well, when you say you want to travel soon, how soon is soon?
Perhaps if time had a meaning here, I could give you a decent answer. However, the sooner we leave, the better. I will finish a few of my readings, and then I will prepare my ritual. Once you are ready, I shall bring you there.
Right. I don't think we should waste any time then. There might be a few things we still wish to inquire about.
Excellent. Cleve, show them out. As the big monster steps over and sort of lifts Gesh out of his chair.
Thank you.
Begins
Very,
to
very-
move you all insistently out of the door as the drow drinks his bitter tea.
Roland will help himself out.
The creature seems rather insistent, rather big, and sort of, you know, just scary, really.
Mhm.
So make sure to send you all out, closing the door behind you.
Well, visiting the Mind Flayer could be difficult.
Yes, if we can't find the library again, then we don't know exactly where to go. That's a good point. Although I do believe I might have an alternate way of contacting him.
Do you feel it's possible to get from here a map that easily shows us where the library is?
I doubt
Maybe.
it. I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it.
If there's such a map, it's probably in a library somewhere.
Mhm.
I wonder where. Roland looks down the corridor.
Which branches off into 500 different corridors.
Yeah, but we have magic crystal.
A magic crystal. Where would a map of the Underdark of the library marked upon it lie?
I can certainly ask this of your magic crystal. Where is the library?
It's right here.
And you will get you will indeed find an undermark illustration that shows you in the general vicinity of where the library is.
Well, hot diggity.
Can we please see the map? Right now we just kind of have we're in somewhere the one writings.
Now, we've got a large area of which we are in. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, right over there.
We were so close to it.
Well, Hadamir,
Yeah.
we both lost our bet.
Yeah.
Where it was.
I mean, I told you we should have gone like north right away.
I mean, we could have.
The thing is, let's be honest, you had no way to know it was there.
It's true. We were more like you were just as likely of it being there as it would being over here. There'd be no way of us to know until now.
This, of course, gives you some idea of where you are, though it doesn't necessarily tell you how to actually find the library if you got here.
Yeah, but if we got back, at least we know what tile to go to try and search for it, right?
Oh, definitely.
There
Instead
are
of just like, somewhere in the worm writings again.
It has been said, it is much easier to find the library once you've been there many times.
suppose
That's what we're here.
it's because that gives you a map when you ask for it. So. Interesting. And I think there's a spell that if you know where you if you know where you want to go, it can give you like a path or something.
You do, of course, know that nothing divination can tell you anything about the library from outside of it. Just as you cannot divine anything about the outside from here. It is effectively a separate dimension.
Maybe when we leave, we can put down a very specific rock. And we hunt for that.
Many specific rocks in the room, I think.
Yeah. Well, I do have a Sylvan Ray coin that I've carried around for many a session.
certainly dump it somewhere in the Underdark.
Yeah.
However, without worrying how to find the place again, perhaps considering what to do with it while you have it before you leave is what you want. Because if you don't need anything more from it, then there's no point in finding it.
It's true. I can't think of anything right now.
We could ask like the state. Certain things like what state is Neverlight Grove currently in?
Under Queen of Rot, presumably.
I mean, we know the Queen of Rock's there, but what state is it left in? That's a good question. Terrible. It's probably the answer. I mean, we might want Arthur to see what it's in. So.
I don't think I want to see. Maybe we'd probably have to take checks just seeing it. Seeing what terrible state it's in.
Yeah, we would mind seeing the abyss.
It actually seems you're rather protected from that sort of thing in here.
Yeah, okay.
You have seen the face of Lolth, after all.
True.
Survive unscathed.
I mean, why not? We can have a look. What's Neverlight Grove?
Sure, you look at the Neverlight Grove, the beautiful mushroom forests and such, and you see the fungi growing bigger, bulbous, and full of weird growths. The myconids there twisting and turning into big maggot-like worm things.
Oh.
You see the few that are hiding, trying to get away from this rot, slowly consumed by it. The few that left, trying to find a new home, yet unable to survive anywhere else. Whatever was of the population of this place, it'll soon all be dead. You also see then a bit of a difference. One of the big mushrooms has a big hole in it, where seemingly a bunch of grey ooze is eating happily away at it.
This is the everything I want to find out. I want to know if Julex is going there or not.
You see Demon Queen in a beautiful veil of rot. Even terrible as you remember her, but her dress now finished. The big mushroom quivering, the intense psychic power of it. Just at this point, soft and weakened enough to be vulnerable to the corrupt touch. Demon.
Great. So the Queen of Rot is at full power.
You also, psychically through this vision, the library shows you something that's been picked up somewhere. Given to it by one of its seekers and such. It appears to be a tiny mycon, holding the hand of a slightly bigger but still small. It wears a little spiked hat, covered in spores and rot.
Oh no.
And it is a cry sent out into the sort of telepathic web of the Neverlight Grove for help. A cry of helplessness, a cry for friends it remembers, for a time of feeling safe. Its people are dying and it doesn't know what to do. Little Stool needs your help and is begging. Only you can save its people.
One thing at a time, there's many more demons to leave.
Stool is the most important. You know it.
Well, why bother trying to go after one of the demon princes when we maybe are on the verge of discovering the plan to take out all of them at once?
We can still save Stool.
To be charging into a demon lord's domain.
We should probably,
Without a plan.
fix everything. And in turn, save Stool.
Maybe your god would like to intervene and save Stool.
I'm sort of tempted to try. I can try. So I suppose there's any reason not to.
You have divine intervention, I'm just saying.
I
The
do.
vision changes. An older Myconid, you remember it. The sovereign stool said it followed. Its voice quivering, yet still having some part of the sort of neutral tone that Mike has. Arumikos, the largest and greatest thing of our world. All that you see is Arumikos. You see fields of fungi, the whole of the fungal area, the Neverlight Grove and everything that surrounds it. All this and more. You have seen the danger of corruption. If you do not help us, no one will. All this will be lost and the demon will become unstoppable. There will be a wedding. Which continues. We can barely hold on. If the wedding ceremony is completed, there will be no end, as the demon will fully exist upon this realm. This is a call for help to whoever can hear it.
Worry not, we're on the case.
Doesn't library know what appropriate gifts are for a demon wedding? What would you bring to a demon wedding? Anyone?
I think
Sacrifices?
I think you can wear white.
I don't know, but you might want to show up in red. We could, of course, bring the gifts of Holy Sword, but I don't know if they'd appreciate it.
Probably not. I sort of wanna, like, I don't know. Charge
As it stands right now, the Neverlight Grove sounds like it's very close to just being absolutely screwed, and also the fact that we'll be screwed by the fact that she'll exist here properly, unable to roam around.
Yeah.
Because right now she can't roam around, but soon she'll be able to leave. Can we really stop it? I don't think we can stop it. We can't fight her.
I mean, we've got time.
Yes. Time, certainly. A precious resource in this game.
Yeah.
Traveling takes time. Doing anything takes time. But during all this, whatever happens, happens. Everything progresses. But you have all the time in the world. Just keep studying.
You know, I have a feeling that Cirilla would give a little prayer that to asking her goddess to bring Stool Rumpeldump to safety.
You want to trigger divine intervention?
I'm gonna try it because why not, right? There's a 1 in 10 chance that I get it, and it happens, right? Is that okay, Malachi?
You can try.
No,
Does
she
it-
could
doesn't
still
matter-
pray.
You do not manage to reach your goddess.
It doesn't matter if we're rolling like a 10 on below or like above it, it doesn't matter. We should keep letting this.
Yeah, it's a 10 or below. It's a 1 in 10 chance.
Well,
Whoever shows.
hopefully the prayer for their safety will not go completely unanswered, and they will have slightly longer to survive. But certainly no intervention here.
Hmm. How's Blidenstone holding up would be the last thing I'd ever want.
Appears to be doing fine. You were there pretty recently, and nothing from there is not from there is here more recent than what you saw.
We stopped the threat it was under, so from now it's
It
stable.
seems that you have
Yes.
removed the demon influence that was there. Well, there's another one's moved in. You kind of saw Jublix wasn't there. On your way to Mental Dareth. Might have done well for that place.
I have nothing else to.
Yeah, I think
To
I've
ask.
exhausted all the things.
Yeah.
Right. There's simply nothing more you can think of then, huh? All right.
Sounds like Manaka is disappointed. But oh
Ooh,
god.
It
I'm
sounds like-
scared now.
Sounds like we sank us. We should be like we've completely forgotten something.
It's fine.
Maybe we should.
Library and
We clearly need to go for every word in the alphabet. Just ask us a question.
here, Malachi. This is the album. I mean, we can. You have that power. It is really your decision. If you want to sit here session after session doing this,
I mean, on the one hand, it sounds like you're suggesting that if we have no more questions, we should just get on with it. On the other hand, you're also suggesting that if we don't ask the right questions, we'll be screwed.
I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm
the
getting
questions
mixed
you have,
messages here.
you've asked has certainly given you a lot of things to go on, right? If you feel like you don't need anything more to go on, then I mean,
'Cause, like I can think of other things. They don't really help the situation. They're just more like indulging curiosities. It's like no, we don't need to ask that. It's like, you know, probably go on. I think.
I think so too. I think so too.
Because we're just talking about like indulging curiosities. We've gone for hours. We could just ask all kinds of indulging.
We
questions.
have, yeah.
how about this? How about this? Before you leave, your character's going to ask a few more questions. Now, before next session, you guys can each send me a little set of questions that you want to have asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds. You get to ask a few more things. You'll have a week to think about what to ask, even, or what to look into. Another week to think of answers, anyway. And then we can still move on with things now. 'Cause we've
I-
been too long.
Yeah, I also appreciate it because it also means that, like, say, if Jonas or Valky had something else in mind they could think of, they can ask.
Yes.
So just remember, it's regarding the Underdark, and consider the limitations of
Yes.
what it wants to do.
Tell us a tale, Mac.
So you spend that time here, just looking into things. Before I suppose all of you gather up. You know, of course, if there's some crazy revelation your characters now know that you don't know, well, I mean, you know, that's what happens. There was some huge thing that you haven't currently found. You know, you can certainly leave. Door's right there.
Road trip. Everyone, caravan together.
We'll wait for.
The people there have really enjoyed their stay. It's a very nice place, much nicer than the road. However, no one in your caravan has any illusions about why you are here or what they are here to do. Saving the world is more important than comfort for all of them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gone here. So it certainly is easy enough to gather up everybody. As you prepare to leave, Beldiscar the Basilisk comes sort of running up to you, almost like a happy dog, really. His 8 legs thumping around as his tail flips back and forth.
Who's a good petrifying monster? You are.
He keeps looking down. And for once, he's the one directing his eyes to the floor. He says, "You're leaving."
Yes.
As nice as this place is, we have demons to fight.
Did you enjoy the place?
Absolutely.
if you wish to help us, sort of flaps his tail, very happy to be able to talk about it. Then you just need to help.
I suppose we do.
Next 2 places. You will deliver back the crystal.
Which crystal?
The library crystal.
Oh, I suppose. Although it would be a nice memento.
If you keep it, you will have to help.
Help how exactly?
What you see and what you learn, it'll be stored here. It'll be given for the crystal to the masters, and they will write it down.
Ah. I'm cool with that.
Keep in mind the demon lords are also searching for the library.
Oh, that's true. Ooh.
Oh no, everything we're doing.
It waves its tail happily and says, "Helping is good. Helping is great."
And helping is too dangerous for us right now.
Oh, wait a second. Would you excuse me and Cyrilla for a moment here?
Waves its head up and down very rapidly and enthusiastically, as it then goes over and sticks its head like under some books.
Now, Cyrilla, you know how Darendil was a monster that turned very nice?
Yeah.
We were talking to a basilisk who's being very nice. I wonder if there's a connection.
I don't think he thinks that he's another species
That's...
with a completely different background.
Also keep in mind that basilisks are normally just non-intelligent. They're being just given intelligence.
Yeah, he might just be an awakened basilisk.
I'm...
I mean, you can explore it, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Next question.
Yeah.
So, Veldaska, how come that you can talk?
I was brought up here by the librarians to help. I sing so people can find it if they're allowed to. So nods its head rapidly, still looking down.
Okay.
And if someone makes trouble, I turn them to stone. I'm very good at that.
You're just adorable, aren't you?
Then they get to help, as he looks over to one of the stone constructs carrying books, nodding rapidly again. Don't make trouble. You're nice people, though.
Wow, that's a source of free labor.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
if you're bad, you'll be turned to stone and become.
Don't steal books. Don't fight. Don't destroy things.
I love this place. That's great.
I also love the fact that now we have an adorable basilisk who's now the most terrifying guard in existence.
Yeah. Veldaskar, you are adorable. And you are the best basilisk I will ever meet.
Thank you. Says, waving its tail.
Roland just kind of put like a hand up to his face, like a bit of a baseball moment, like trying to conceal his like brief smile at what it's going to say.
Alright, yes, I think I'll hold onto this crystal and help.
You sure?
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we keep the crystal, the demons that come here to investigate can investigate us will have a documentation of what we do in the future.
But it would be nice to
It would be lovely to.
immortalize ourselves, right?
It would be nice, but we could also fail in our mission because a demon lord sees exactly what we do.
I suppose. Makes a lot of sense too.
I would rather save the world and in turn this library to further its knowledge than to provide knowledge ourselves. I think overall it will be a net positive in the library's favour.
Once this is all over, maybe you can go get Crystal.
I'm sure your brother would disapprove.
I don't see how my brother has anything to do with anything. Well, I suppose that settles that. I'm afraid, Vilska, we can't help after all. It would not be good for the library.
It seems very downtrodden by that.
We have too much attention on us. And
Crystal has had to get again.
Hmm.
I
But-
liked you. It says,
But if
you were nice. You did not make trouble.
I just wish we
yes,
could
it is
turn it
more
off.
important to succeed than to hold on to this, I think.
Gonna miss the library and Valdaskar and all of the stone slaves.
Which is only a little bit disconcerting.
Only slightly.
Gash considers the crystal. One of them certainly moves up, just ready to take it when he wants to give it to him.
Mm.
Relinquishing his access to it.
It's for the good of the world, Gash. I don't want to do it either, but we have to.
You know what? You know what? We're banking a lot on this drow, aren't we?
Yes.
What if he's just wrong? What if he doesn't have a plan? What if he's insane or wants to deceive us and we need to go back here? If we give up this crystal, then that's yet another way we cannot find the library.
But isn't it true that if we need the library, that we will find it, even without the crystal?
I'm not entirely sure how it works.
Cyril will look to Vildaskar and say that... we'll ask... we know generally the right area to be in the library, and if we were to need the library again, would the librarians not send you out to sing for us, like you did?
Yes. I was there because I knew you'd be here. I waited for so long.
She nods. It says if we need to come back, then you will know that we would need to be here again, right?
He tilts his head and looks at you quizzically. It's just... Crystal gives free access. Otherwise, you'll have to read. Most of the books. I don't mind. I like spending time with you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the problem is not finding the library again, but using
Access.
it again if we have to.
It's so risky though.
It's exciting. Stone spear crystals used to only be for giants.
Exactly, it's a privilege.
Is
Well,
there?
you know my vote.
I know. Is there any?
You can stay. You can stay here. Here is safe. Library can be removed. All accesses to outside removed. Enough reading forever.
I don't. Do you think the crystal can tell what's going on if it's inside an extra dimensional space of its own?
That's a good point.
I've got a bag of holding on me. Like, if it's in there, like, would it be able to see what we're doing?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's an argument. That's what.
Maybe we should read up on how the crystals work and its limitations.
You do know that the crystal is capable of sending information into this plane from another. However, they are stone speaker crystals, made for the stone speakers of the earth giant race, or stone giant race, so that they can bring their information and genealogy and legends and lore and laws to this place. In addition to that, the stone speaker crystal also has the ability to cast several spells that will help in gaining information. While this is clearly not the only way to contribute to the library, I mean, you could go out there, write a book on something, and then bring it in here. Documentation seems to be what the Order of Brilliance or Society of Brilliance certainly does. This would create sort of a direct feed, if you will, of information. Beyond that, if you come back here, you would seemingly have it still. Sort of an honorary stone speaker in and of itself.
So we can choose to send information. We don't just
As
constantly.
long as you have it, the giants will write down whatever they think is significant.
Out of
Eventually, it's write down whatever they think is significant in the process of trying to save the world. Part of it. Or to save themselves, sorry. Save them.
The
Save
library
us.
certainly has its own desire for what it wants.
The
Yeah,
library's looking for stuff that helps save its species. I mean, writing down something that will jeopardize that actually they might not do.
it's true. I'm actually starting to sway towards keeping the stone now.
And actually, I've come to the realization that
let's keep it.
I've actually come to the realization Roland is also going to go in 360. Is going to go 180 here, and actually going to say keep it.
Yep.
Because I just remembered, no, his current madness says no, he wants to keep it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Sure,
he
like-
wants to have it.
Let's
Yes,
keep
he
it.
wants to have it, but
Be
he
in
doesn't.
the bag of holding Lokish. No.
Save his place to have it.
You should be in there.
Gesh is not a material good.
Yeah. Has Roland has a difficult time not taking some of the unique and valuable books in the bag? He can just bring them out with him, and no one would know.
Basically a kleptomaniac, isn't he?
Yes, very, very hard time. Especially since knowing he could just, as a quick action, just grab something.
Yeah, so
No
even
message.
now, perhaps he has like just a book or maybe 15 in the bag.
No. No,
No.
he doesn't. Cirilla's been keeping an eye on him because, you know, he swiped that one book and then she's like, God damn it, Roland.
In fairness, it's true. Cirilla's the one who can actually see through it. So and since Cirilla's been there every time I've been to the library, she's been able to see anytime I tried.
She's been Roland guard.
But we might need it.
No. Do you want to become a stone man?
Cirilla. Come on. Just one book.
Don't make me get our adorable basilisk friend.
So what is your decision?
Oh, keep
Sounds like
it.
we're keeping it.
Keep it.
Is everyone in agreement? Sheep?
Yeah, keep it.
I think no idea as a player, but in character I'm agreeing. So
Sure. You can just keep it on your character sheet then. You know the power of a stone speaker crystal.
Yes.
Except this one actually also worked for what it's supposed to do. Yeah, which means that as long as you have that and you're within the general vicinity of the library, you can find it. Well, if you did not have it, then maybe you couldn't. Oh well.
oh, we could try to find it.
Mhm.
That guy who gave it to you? Yeah. Put a lot of trust in you.
He did. Great man. We'll always
died.
remember him.
Stone speaker Hagram.
Just clearly look him up.
I know. When I create my temple, I'll have a section just for him.
With that though, you can bid the place goodbye. Vildaskar will say that he's very excited about what you're going to do, and he's gonna read it all. You know.
Wait, that's his career.
Well, yeah, of course.
I love him. I wish I could keep him as an adorable pet.
Cirilla, you're not having a past basilisk as a pet.
But I have the blood from the last
No.
one. Ah,
If I'm not allowed to steal things, you're not allowed to have basilisk as a pet.
damn it. Just settle for a lizard, Beth.
With that, you can certainly go meet Devere and well, ask to be brought far away from this place.
Me just ignoring the mind flare.
I mean, we're not going to be able to get there and back, are we?
Take 6 days.
Yeah.
What are days?
I don't think he's going to be staying that long. Or
You could certainly
Sure.
decide to go find his place on your own. He will give you the location. That you can go on your own time.
where?
Can you show us like where it is right now, so we have like an idea of how far?
Right on the other side of the worm right.
Oh, great.
As in this other side? Or
Nope,
this
no,
other side? Oh, god damn.
Which means we'd have to connect back down to the road and do the full trip again.
Yeah, which is a long
It
way.
is built at the edge of the sphere of influence of Mensa Baranzan, just outside where their furthest patrols.
So, a bit of a predicament for me here, because as a player, I think it would be cool to hear out the Mind Flayer and see what he suggests we can do to hurt orcas and save like their brain friend, whatever. But it's hard to justify from an in-character perspective because the Drow is potentially dangling away in front of us to get rid of all the Demon Lords somehow, which would include orcas, so it would help the Mind Flayer also. And wasting like so much time traveling across the entire worm rivings with purple worms galore. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, from an in-character point of view, I have a similar thing going on here, which is from Roland's own point of view, as I kind of piece through everything. All the days of travel he doesn't want, and the fact that that we're going so close to Mensa Baranzan, and the fact that this guy might have like a plan with that, makes Roland really, really kind of inclined to go that way because just the potential opportunity for him to do basically a breakout, being closer. So he's definitely like the Mind Flayer right now. He doesn't care about Mind Flayers.
Yeah,
He has his priorities.
I don't see a reason to sacrifice saving weeks of travel for a trip to a Mind Flayer that might be promising.
I just mostly wanted to see if the group, what the group's thought was on this.
Yeah, let's take the teleport.
Yeah.
It can be hard to make decisions when there's consequences either way.
Also, we have to consider there's 2 other party members who are missing. So
Yes, you wish to go with the teleport. Rizan will of course scowl and mumble that that teleportation in the Underdark is always dangerous at best. There's a chance you'll be flung a few hundred. You could end far away from where he intends. However, he will always get home, at least. So if it is, make your way to his place.
before we appear inside Mensa Baranzan. We teleport inside the city by accident.
However, he is pressed of time. There's so little of it, and he wishes to make sure to use it all to its best. And even if you don't appear exactly where he wants you to, you will hopefully appear closer than here.
That's a fair point. No matter where we appear, we should be close.
Regardless, it is worth the risk.
I bet Jim Jar this goes well.
Oh, he's up for betting, yeah.
Actually, no. I'll go and put a gold piece. This goes badly.
You know what? You got a gold piece that it'll be absolutely fine.
The circle is made. He spent some time doing it, obviously, outside, keeping it away from the mist that disrupted. And away from the library, too. About quite a few hours of travel, 4 hours of travel. Perhaps the library has some sort of interference as well. Remember, when you got here, you certainly were brought away from it. Your people traveling here They are not sure, all of them. So the Elvith talking about how we can trust a drow, of all things. Although the Centauran people do think that there is some great merit in this. I mean, he did mention that he might have worked with the Centauran before, so it's only good news. And look at his bodyguard. You know, that's something anyone could have. He shapes strange circles and such, and just from a cursory glance at it, it's quite clear that this is magic beyond any of you, really. When this man introduced himself as an archmage, it is perhaps no lie that he holds great magical potential within him. In that aspect, he certainly does not seem a charlatan. Perhaps you check it to make sure that the ritual is indeed what he says it is, and it does appear to indeed take you through dimensional teleportation to a place far away from here.
Not the Abyss?
Probably not. Probably.
Yeah, if it's a plane shift circle to the Abyss, we have a problem.
The circle is activated. Him walking in first with his creature, telling you to follow him and don't be too slow about it.
Well, Cirilla, never the squeamish, will just go for it. Why not?
Sure, why don't you throw me a D100?
Well, that's how we're playing it, is it?
Okay.
Alright,
Do the rest of you want to do it too?
yes. I mean, what's the other option? Stay here forever?
You could certainly decide that now.
No. Oh god.
Oh, divine intervention!
Either you're fine, or you've got something terrible happen to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Roland gets. Though Roland's hyper paranoid about this.
Sheep, you and your percentile dice. There's something
know.
wrong with them.
One of these days I'll roll Highland 20. But I would like it to be in
Oh, God.
D&D.
We share the same fate.
Well, turns out that I will allow the NPCs to just come with you, really.
What about
Really
Liam
for
and
that
Valky?
bunch. They will follow in your roles as well. As you appear, who knows if that's where you're supposed to be? I mean, it's like walking out of a fog, basically. As you step out, the area around you hot. Clearly, the magic here being affecting the area of your arrival quite strongly. You're on what appears to be a massive cave full of sort of a gray, thin mist. A distant waterfall is apparently making it very damp in here. At the far side of the cave, lit by glowing lichen and also lit fires at the bottom of a stairway, you can indeed see a tall tower. All of you having apparently made it well. With no crazy things even happening.
I mean, on the bright side, Sheep, if a 9 was terrible, I would have been with you at least.
Yeah.
Well, if we shared the same fate, that means that it was under 35 at least.
I mean, I imagine probably the bad stuff was probably like 80 plus, with my guess. But...
It's not the greatest chance of getting, but it can happen.
Can happen.
Well, I guess I lose a gold piece.
Aha!
Ah, the money.
I think I gained some, do I not?
She-
I mean, from my point of view, something terrible did happen. I lost the bet. But
Ah,
you
but-
see a tower in the far distance of the cave.
what kind of architecture of tower?
Well, you can take a look.
I'm looking.
Roll me common law architecture.
There is to be tall, built very simply, and so smooth that it is most definitely carved out of the rock by magic, not by craftsmen. In front of you, awaiting perhaps, is a smallish drow man. Not the one you know, but another, seemingly impatient.
He looks like he's just had a bite of lemon.
That is about a correct assessment of what he looks like. Giving you the standard drow sneer as you come to you step out. Finally, that took longer than it should have. The master's waiting for you. Your cohorts can stay here. They are not welcome to the tower. Only you. You will behave. You will be peaceful and respectful of my master. I understand he has been somewhat eager to have you visit. Your welcome bags will be within the door.
Welcome bags.
Any questions?
I don't believe so. Wonderful. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Excellent. It is a long time since we have had guests. He lowers his voice a little bit, and if there's anything you need on a more personal level, you can feel free to ask me. I'm not only curious about you in a business sense. People like you fascinate me. Adventuring types. You must have seen so much. Anyway, my master would be angry if I dallied. You can follow me, or you can come along as you wish. The Guardians will show you the way.
You must have seen a lot. Just about the Demigorgon in person, Queen of Rock in person.
As he turns and sort of stiffly walks up.
Is this the same tower that the ghost and the bullet escaped from?
Doubt it.
What?
I doubt it.
No, that was far, far away.
That was on the surface.
Just making sure.
That would have been beautiful, wouldn't it?
Alright.
Where's my bullet? I need it. I'll play it will work.
Alright.
Just as long as you don't feed it.
It's like a gremlin. It multiplies when you...
Your people that'll gather around you. Elders perhaps questioning if it's really wise to go in there without them. I mean, is this a drow's tower? This could be a trap.
If it were a trap, I suspect the teleportation circle would not have taken us to his home, but rather in a more unpleasant place.
I would presume the pits of hell would probably be a good place to send us.
It could be the unpleasant place.
Seems unlikely. And if it is a trap, well, uses Roland just kind of gently puts a hand on the hilt of one of his short swords, and there's many short swords.
She frowns not, but accepts that at least there's some validity in the argument.
And Roland's not denying that. Sure, it could be a trap. Just doesn't seem like it. Then again, Roland will even assume Cyril asking him into a room might be a trap.
Mm. Let's see what these welcome bags are then.
Those are clearly traps.
Sure. Walking in, you quickly see that the place seems to be nicely sort of Spartan, except for the many ornamental blades and armors covering every wall. Solved rugs cover every sort of surface, but as you walk over them, they sort of stir a little bit, as if alive. The same seems true about the many implements of war that hang upon the walls, crossbows, blades. Each almost turns as you walk past it. The many pieces of armor and suits of mail opening the doors for you as you pass, simply indicating that they are able to walk, move, and aware of your presence. The small room that awaits you within does indeed have a few stone benches, and shows further that this place could certainly accommodate all of your companions. Large bedrooms, hallways, kitchens. It appears that the tower is well equipped. The gifts that appear to be given to you, waiting here while you perhaps, just stand around, appears to be a set of drow clothes for each of you. Fitted already to your size and stature. Perhaps somehow information about that has been. Each also carries an amulet.
What are the amulets?
They appear to be magical, as does the clothes.
How are they magical?
Yes. The amulets appear to be enchanted to each be able to once, ever, consumable effectively, cast the spell. Here it is. To cast the spell Protection from Fiends.
Okay.
That seems oddly specific.
You will each have one of those. Beyond that, the clothes is referred to as a pivafni, a set of basically an overcloak and hood made of spider silk. These themselves appear to function as drow cloaks of Elvenkind,
Oh.
making hiding and staying out of sight somewhat easier.
That's pretty sweet.
That is.
What,
And
what,
make
is,
all of you look fashionable.
what are the stats for
Nice black
Cloak of
drows.
Elven- Or what are the stats for a Cloak of Elvenkind and
While
Yes,
while you
let me tell you. While you wear this cloak with its hood up, wisdom checks to detect you have disadvantage, and you have advantage on dexterity stealth checks made to hide. The cloak's color will also shift to camouflage you as best it can, and to unfasten the hood takes an action, basically, if you want to reveal yourself.
I'm sorry, one moment. Did someone just inform me that Roland now has advantage on his best skill?
As long as you wear the drow silken cloak, he can hide much more easily.
Thanks, brother.
I think this works very well with Cyrilla's innate ability as of being able to hide in anything that has light obscurage.
Effectively, this is all fitted to your characters. So Gesh might have more like a robe, and Roland might have like fitted. The same thing of all of them is that they have a hood and cloak upon them as well.
Well, they're magical as well, so we can change their
Well,
appearance.
they are certainly sewn.
I'm just saying, Cyrilla,
Mm-hmm.
my passive stealth is now something like 26.
If you change, suddenly
Good
you
thing
will
my
all look
perception is-
very fashionable,
Oh.
well, nice silk clothes.
You know,
And then begin all looking stony as it camouflages you.
you know. Roland will wear it just for the pure partly because this is useful.
Yeah.
A nice amulet
yeah.
too.
I will.
It's a gift. It would be impolite to refuse.
Yeah.
Also, because if Roland ever used just got himself on himself, well, he has now to draw outfit to match.
And if we can keep it, it would be very useful. An amulet with protection from feet.
It is drow make. It will disappear if put in sunlight for an hour.
Ugh, of course.
Which also means I need to get the sword away. And my sword will start to evaporate my cloak.
Just don't draw it for more than an hour.
Mhm.
Yeah, to sort of sizzle slightly and smoke when direct sunlight.
Put it away, cops. Everyone, put it, your cloaks are on fire.
With that, however, I mean, the Guardians will certainly make it clear to you that you're free to go up in the tower.
Okay.
Right, let's go up.
Going upstairs, the second level seems to be the one that has most of the kitchen, storages, and generally quarters. They also appear very deserted. Clearly, no one has been cooking here for a long time. The third floor seems to have more bed chambers and also a section closed off with a heavy metal door, a sophisticated lock. Perhaps you can imagine what might be behind it. Continuing further up is where there begins to be more restrictions on your movement. You being allowed to the fourth floor, though there are two more beyond that you are not really allowed to explore. Here, you are indeed allowed into a room where the man you recognize, Drow, scowling Drow, and his big bodyguard, are sitting in a room surrounded almost by these moving pieces of armor that gently are serving them tea and what appears to be some sort of Drow dry biscuit mushroom thing. As you enter, gestures for you to sit down. The chair is already being put out for you.
How kind. Guess I'll take a seat.
I'm glad to see things went well. My skills at counteracting the confusing parts of the Underdark seems to only have been honed by my recent excess use of it.
It is certainly fortunate. Now, you do keep saying that time is of the essence, so tell us more about your plans.
Yes. First, let me speak to you of what I know completely, so that you may understand why I need what I need. You see, the only one who could ever match me in the art was Grumph. I think we knew from the moment we met that we were destined to be rivals, but where I sought only to master the art, Grumph was always as astute at political manipulation as at anything else. He was no more devout than I in the service of the Spider Queen. He arranged for my disgrace and exile all the same, however. Deprived of my considerable skills, my house fell to our rival House Do'Urden. Grumph became the Archmage of Menzoberranzan under the auspices of his own house, the first house of the ruling council. Grumph and I only ever had two things in common, you see. Passion for art, and our hatred of, well, the manner in which our fellow mages suffer at the hands of the matron mothers and mistresses of the Drow. Grumph always hungered for power, and not even becoming Archmage of Menzoberranzan was enough for him. She sort of looks at you, as if saying, you can see where this is going. From this Tower of Exile, I have kept watch on his activities. It was no easy task, given his suspicious and his circumspect nature. Nonetheless, my observations revealed that he was crafting a unique ritual, one that somehow drew on the energy of the Fair's Rest to channel incalculable arcane power. When Grumph performed this ritual, the walls between the planes shattered. Then, as you have surely now realized, the demon lords were wrenched from their layers of the abyss and cast into here, the Underdark. This is what we all witnessed in Gravenhollow. looks at you for you to confirm this.
Roland's nodding.
So, I have been working on a way to undo what is done, and I believe it is impossible to reverse the ritual that Grumpf produced. However, demons are creatures ruled by madness and hatred, even the greatest and most powerful of them. They war ceaselessly upon each other in the abyss, and have already begun to do so here. We will play them against one another, and then deal with whoever is the weakened victor. I believe I have the power and ability to devise a ritual similar to Grump's, but nowhere near as dangerous or foolish. This will draw the most powerful demon lords together to the site of the original summoning. Once they are brought together, they will try to destroy each other. But though demon lords might destroy each other's physical manifestations here in our world, their essences cannot be extinguished, not even by such a ritual. They will thus be cast back into the abyss, as if they had been, well, banished. The ritual needs, however, certain components to produce the talisman that will draw the demons, then a rite to empower and activate it. The blood and battle, such as this world has never seen, well, hopefully we'll never see again. And any surviving demon lords will surely be sorely weakened and thus far easier to destroy or banish after the fact. All I need are the necessary ingredients. I can do the rest. Ideally, or rather necessarily, I would also need Grump's grimoires and notes from his sanctum.
All right. What ingredients are we talking about here?
Each of these are rather unique, and none of them are easy to find. I have already procured what could be bought by working with the Centaurum, as I'm sure you are aware. I require the intact and unhatched egg of a purple worm. This is for channeling great physical power. Beyond that, I require the central eye of a great beholder. I require 6 feathers from 6 different angels. I require the heart of a Garisto. I require 13 tin masks, no more or less. I require a few drops of blood or ichor from a demon lord. And of course, Grump's grimoire and notes. With this, I shall create an amulet or talisman called the Dark Heart. With this, the demon lords can be brought to the place of Grump's original summoning, where they will then fight one another until few or one remains, weakened and vulnerable. I believe this is the best, perhaps even only way to save what remains of this world.
Is this taking into account the Queen of Rot's apparent wedding of whoever she is joining with?
She's joining with the giant fungus, the psychic fungus.
Once this is done, it should bring all of them to one place. Surely they will fight one another. Whoever is strongest will surely win, which means that we will only have to deal with one demon lord at that point. A weakened one, perhaps we will have as much as we can ready to strike. That last one will have to be fought, naturally, or banished using magic. Their inherent resistances are likely spent on one another.
And do you have ideas of how we would collect some of these items?
Yes, though all would be dangerous and time-consuming.
And if I may,
The egg of a purple worm is obvious. Find one of the hatcheries, the nurseries of them here in the worm writhings. Northern part, as deep in as possible. Beholders, they exist, though all rare and difficult to find. There is one that might, in the worm writhings, close by, really, satisfy that requirement. Perhaps you've heard of him. Zarax.
Oh, we have.
The Feathers of Angels is a difficult one. I have looked much, especially in the library, and found that there is a place called the Gallery of Angels in the labyrinth to the south. It is my only lead in that regard, and you might have to go there and follow up on it by yourselves. Garisto is a demon of power, something not easily found. However, they prowl the Underdark where demons are strong. Surely that will not be the most difficult thing to acquire. Tin Masks, a unique fungus of the abyss, grows wherever powerful demon lords walk. Find one that has footsteps and pluck a few. Possible. 13. Less will not do. Blood from a demon lord is difficult, one of the most difficult, I would say. However, if we are lucky to find a time at which two might engage one another, that aftermath, or perhaps even during such a fight, it could be possible to acquire such things. It is something to consider. Grump's grimoires are in his study in Menzoberranzan, however, a place I, because of him, am banished from. My apprentice, however, has done and gone there before. I can send you with him, I suppose, should you require such aid. He knows the way well enough. You will naturally need to be disguised, however.
where did the original ritual take place?
In the heart of Menzoberranzan's academy. It is well known to the Drow that when it was finished, Grumph has disappeared, not been heard from since, and Demogorgon, the prince of demons, rampaged through the city before escaping to the Dark Lake.
From what I heard, the city.
Many of the strongest defenders of the city were expended attempting to divert the Demon Lord. He smiles slightly.
I've heard the city's had to do a lot of repair work of late.
Yes, quite so, though that is the least of their issues.
As Roland has a smile on his face now, plotting through things.
This means that Menzoberranzan will likely be destroyed in the battle between the Demon Lords, but to be honest, it is the only way. I will not cry for
I mean,
you. Think you can do this, or at least acquire some before you expire. Whatever steps we can take to get closer to the goal of finishing the Dark Heart, the closer we will be to accomplishing what needs to be done.
Can I take a moment to just note that we're crafting something called the Dark Heart?
yeah.
Part of me tells me this is a trap.
Maybe, but his plan is sound.
It's a sound plan, I'll agree.
And also, we have no alternate plan.
Not very true. This seemed like as good a plan when it comes to, like, say, the demon lords fighting each other. Well, Jublex seemed to be heading towards the Queen of Rot. So that might be an opportunity to get the Ichor.
Yep.
We don't need much of it, we just need a little bit of Ichor. That's all we need.
We can. I mean, by the time we get there.
I mean, the point is, as long as there is some aftermath left, that's all we need. We don't need to be there during the fight, technically. We just need there while there's still some aftermath left.
Yeah.
We just need enough that we can grab, you know, a vial of blood. That's all we need. Actually, they're not asking for like a barrel.
Yeah.
Technically, all we need is 3 drops. A vial will do.
I think we could do it.
This is totally doable. Like, none of these individual steps actually sound like they're impossible for us to do. Individually, they're all possible for us to do. Challenging, but possible.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The main thing is, can we do them fast enough?
Yeah.
And in which order do we decide to initiate the plan?
I think that's the key aspect, is in which order to do
Understandably, Roland is very keen on getting the Grimoire from Menzoberranzan in, but that's because he has a secondary reason to get into Menzoberranzan.
True.
Of course, he has no idea how he'll get his family out, but he has a reason to get in, so...
It'll take some time for me to create the heart. The sooner you acquire any of the ingredients, the better.
Personally, I think that the first one we should probably go and try and get is blood or ichor from a demon lord. Then we can go have...
We know there's a conflict going on at the moment.
Yeah. Then we can possibly either go look for a purple worm egg or go look at the angels.
What I would say is we should... my personal opinion is we should see if we get the blood from the Demon Lord.
Yep.
And then basically we should, as much... if there's anything close by, like where we already are, quickly grab that. But otherwise, go back to the main HQ and grab everything close by. So we have as many things as possible at his place already ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we definitely need to jump on the conflict between Jublex and the Queen of Rot. But the next thing we could do, considering it's still fairly close, is the purple worm egg. And then we can use that opportunity to go talk to the Mind Flayer.
The thing is, we said we meet him 3 days after. I don't think he'll still be there.
No, he didn't specify a time. He said go north for 3 days.
Yeah.
Not meet me in 3 days.
And if
It's
we're
distance.
if we're going to be in the worm writhings, we might as well try and get the Beholder's central eye, as he said that there's one in the worm writhings.
Yeah, but that's like the Eyemonger, who's like the super beholder.
Where is the labyrinth?
The labyrinth
Labyrinth
is south, yeah.
Do we know where south?
Yeah, it's on the
Public
map.
place. Yeah.
Oh, it's not that entire region.
You traveled close to it when you left Kraggles to
Yeah.
go to Neverlight Grove the first time.
My mind is just trying to piece through all the different things here.
So one of their entrances.
Yeah, basically, we'd want to go straight here.
As it stands, of course, Roland has really, really, really badly wants to grab the journal from Menzoberranzan early. So just looking to get the family out early. But
At the same time, he said that it's a preferred thing.
what? The journal?
Yeah.
I thought he said he required the journal. Part of it.
It is required.
Okay.
It is, if need be, the last thing, as I will need it for the incantation, not the creation.
Yeah, Roland has a personal reason he would want to grab it early. And there was an argument, it's right there. We'd only be a minor detour on the long straight, grand scale of things.
True, but we'd also be We'd also have to try and figure out a way of getting inside the...
Well, we have a way to get inside, which is we have his apprentice who can lead us inside if we got told.
What, right up into the Archmage's study?
Oh, at least inside the main building. Once we're inside the main building, we can figure out the rest, right?
He can lead you to the city.
Yeah, he can't get us anywhere other than just
I mean,
the city.
he can get us inside the city, I imagine, as well. At least through the gates. And then once we're on the inside, we figure out the rest ourselves. Admittedly, I suppose we have the problem we can't speak Drow. Because we have tongues.
Have tongues, but...
I'm just saying that's a fair problem. I just remembered that's going to be an issue we have to run across. Because we can disguise ourselves all we want, but unless we have that, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
You can put your notes on the map too if you want to remember things. I'll just write it down, of course.
Sure. Well, let's put...
Give it some thought.
Could you send like a full written ingredients we need?
Hmm?
Could you make sure that we have could you give us like a full written list of all the ingredients? Make sure I got them all.
This is my list currently. Well, that's not formatted at all. But how many feathers was it? 10 or 6?
6.
6. Okay.
At least that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Surely we can just ask an angel for those.
That's not that easy.
Well, we'd have to ask
I mean-
6 different angels, because he said that
Yeah.
it'd be a feather from 6 different angels.
I mean, we just need to convince them that we do in fact want to save the world. I'm sure angels are not opposed to us saving the world, right?
It could also be that they don't care.
They gotta care about the world.
Where would... I mean, we might even find the Ten Masks with the conflict. Because I think the...
No, neither the Queen of Rot nor Jublex leave footprints. Because
Do they?
don't use their feet.
Okay.
Obviously.
Who does then?
I mean, Demogorgon definitely, Orcus
Yeah.
probably.
Maybe the Demigorgon would be our best chance, I think. Some point when it's left to
I mean, the Demogorgon, however, is in the Dark Lake. I think Orcus might be our best bet.
Did the Demigorgon like leave or to rampage that town?
Oh, he did, yeah.
That would be our best shot. I don't
Where
know where
even
that town
was
was.
that? Yeah.
It's on the map.
Is it
I don't
Sloop
know.
Loop Soup Loop Top?
Does that sound like a
It's the only other one we
I
can
think it
Jason,
does.
see
Yeah.
Jason do it, so
Alright.
Yes.
Let's
You can
have...
even see the way you walk there. Huh?
yeah. So we know he's surfaced in that location, right? Because you guys had to run away before they get done.
So he's probably left footprints there.
Which mushrooms would have grown there as a result of his footprints,
Yes. So...
and it had plenty to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as at the journalist, there's the brands, the labyrinth. We need to get thing. We need to get the beholder from the worm writhings.
Hello.
Egg from the worm writhings. Hello.
Hi.
Are you
Uh,
feeling okay?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just retired.
That makes sense.
So, I think it'd be suitable to try and give you a quick catch
Yeah,
up.
let me get you up to scratch, Jonas. Do you want to join us up?
Sure.
We have a demon destroying plan.
Yeah, we've you don't need to join the server just to know this stuff, but we've expended
annotating
we've expended as many questions as we could think of. But Manakai has graciously said that we can ask him some more before next session if we have any.
I think we could have asked while we were doing the library.
In regards
Yep.
to the Library of Craven Hollow, because otherwise we would never get anywhere outside of it.
Exactly.
Like every object we can think of.
Yeah. And then we went with Drow Archmage, who said he had a plan on how to destroy the demon host.
But he was like, oh, there's Probably spies in the library, so come to my tower so we can talk there.
Yeah.
And then he teleported us to the other side of the room where
Yeah.
where there stands his tower.
And then
Teleportation is great.
Then he explained his plan is basically to do a ritual that was the opposite, or not quite the opposite. It's a ritual to bring all the demon lords together into one place.
Based on the original.
Isn't that how it started?
Well, so the original,
Yes.
the original ritual ended up pulling all the demon lords into this world. Basically, what his plan is to take the original ritual and modify it so it draws all of the demon lords to the same location, so they'll kill each other and leave only one left.
Uh-huh.
At which point, that one weakened one, hopefully, we might be able to take down or banish.
Sure.
And
This sounds reasonable.
now he's given us a list of things that we need to go and get.
Yes, you saw.
Yeah, but unfortunately, to do this ritual, unfortunately, we need to collect things so he can craft something known as the Dark Heart, which is the focus of the ritual.
Oh, that sounds lovely. What do
It
we
does.
We need to have an eye. We need to have an eye from a Grand Beholder.
The central eye, not just any eye, the central one.
Central eye.
Need? Well, we know where a beholder hangs out.
We
so.
know a few locations. We've got 2 locations for beholders in total now, so.
Yep.
We've got a purple worm egg. We need.
Sure,
Unhatched.
shouldn't be too difficult.
We need the grimoire of the original ritual inside Mesa Branson.
That sounds trickier.
So we
Yep.
have to infiltrate in there. We need 13 tin masks, which are a type of mushroom only left from the footprints of demon lords.
Oh,
Yep.
great.
Which we
remember that town that got attacked by the Demigorgon itself.
Yep.
That's
fish town.
our best place of finding it right now.
Sure.
We need the blood or ichor of a demon lord, so we're thinking the current conflict going on between Jubilex and Queen of Rot. Might be our best shot there.
Sure.
We need 6 angel feathers, which we think there might be some available from some location in the lead in the labyrinth.
There's angels in the labyrinth?
apparently.
There's something known as, what was it called? The
Gallery of Angels.
Yeah.
Gallery of Angels.
And we need a feather from 6 different angels.
Okay, sure.
Apparently,
We have
there's
a variety
some
of
in the
ingredients we need here.
Yeah, certainly high concept.
There's one more. We need the central eye of the beholder.
We
Oh, we
mentioned
went
that
there.
earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
We
So,
need all the ingredients for him to craft the dark heart and then perform the ritual.
our first.
Also, extra note: the ritual has to be performed in the same location, so he'll be performing inside Mentor Branson, destroying the city in the process.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
How, so, who is our mysterious drow benefactor here? Like, who is he?
He is apparently the rival of the Archmage of Menzoberranzan and is just mostly jealous and jaded because he got screwed over by him.
And is the ex-Archmage of
What house is
Menzoberranzan.
he from, out of curiosity?
He told us.
Mentioned
Crap.
his house, but I didn't write it down. Mengar? Oh.
It says so right there, right?
Devere. Yeah.
Okay.
Devere. House Devere.
Sadly.
Yes. How's it here?
He kind of spun us a story though about how he used to about how basically like he's always like known this guy and like he's always a rival, but in the end he ended up being more politically savvy and ended up getting able to get the favor of the priesthood inside.
I'm familiar with House Devere.
And
Without
so-
him, they didn't fare too well.
And another note, when we arrived, we were given the drow version of Cloak of Elvenkind and a amulet of protection from Fiend.
Okay.
The amulet is consumed in the casting.
But we have protection from evil and good as spells, which protect you from fiends, so I don't know how more powerful this is. Presumably more, but...
I'm currently pretty happy with the Cloak of Elvenkind though, because that now means Roland, his best skill, now has a roll twice. He now gets advantage on all his stealth checks, which are already amazing, and he will have penalty wisdom check to find him.
If the amulet from fiends confers the same as from good and evil, I wouldn't mind having that amulet because that's a pretty good amulet.
We all got one.
We each get one.
You
Yeah,
get
we
each
each get-
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You can effectively, it allows you to cast that spell once.
And we also all got a Cloak of Elvenkind. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will help you keep hidden from the things that might try to stop you.
which may also be useful when we have to infiltrate Menza Branson.
Yes.
well. Are we sneaking into Mensa Branson, or are we?
We
Well,
don't know.
we can be guided up to the gate and maybe let in disguise, but we can't get there. They won't be able to help us inside the actual academy itself.
No.
So
Because we need to get into the Archmage's, like, office to get his grimoire.
And Devere here can't teleport us in.
he's been banished from the city and kept out with powerful magic.
Yeah. And teleportation doesn't work perfectly in the Underdark, remember?
And Mental Branson itself is probably warded. More so.
I don't know.
We do know on the bright side, Mental Branson's security force is currently far weaker than it used to be. Far weaker. Its defenses are also ruined.
Yeah.
Because when all the demon lords were first summoned, the Demigorgon appeared right in the middle of the place and wreaked havoc.
So we're just stomped out here.
As a result, a lot of their elite forces are now dead, meaning it's a lot weaker than it used to be, which helps us in every way.
What happened to our drow friend from Metal Dareth? Is he dead?
Drow friend from Endel.
Yeah.
Drow friend.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
You mean Gastron de Loc?
No, that guy needs to die. I mean our drow friend, the one who let us out from the prison in the beginning.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, he
that's a
stayed.
good question. Yeah, he stayed.
Yeah, he stayed. He's still alive. He's in one piece.
Okay, that's good.
You just stay with the drow.
Need all the allies.
I agree.
So, go and kill the beholder in Metal Dareth?
No, the
I mean, that's an option,
it's
honestly.
an option.
Yeah, we can either kill that. We can either kill that one, or we can kill we know of another one in the Worm Riding we can kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like the one in the Worm Riding is like Mega Beholder.
Mega holder?
I mentioned that we actually don't know if the one in the Metal Dareth is strong enough. It has to be like a certain strength of beholder.
Well, maybe we should kill it just to be sure.
But I think our first port of call is to go to the Neverlight Grove to go try and get some demon blood from that fight that Jubilex and the Queen of Rod are having. Presumably.
Roland, as it stands, is going to be rather obsessive, as I mentioned the others a bit. Like, really pestering the group, like he really wants to go into Mental Dareth to get the Grimoire, but there's also the secondary thing. He wants to sneak in there so we can try and, like, sneak his family out.
Yeah. I'm just...
It's obvious. His intention is obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you choose to do when, of course, matters because every place here has something going on that progresses as time goes on. So, yeah, spend it wisely.
You know.
Say.
Of course, one problem is we don't actually know what's going on in each location, which doesn't help us. But
No, exactly. We have no idea, so
Yeah.
it's hard to make an informed decision. Okay.
Roland personally wants to support the idea of basically going down to Mental Dareth, which isn't that far away. Or Mental Branson, sorry. Trying to get the Grimoire, and then going down the Dark Road to the conflict going on with the Queen of Rot. It's kind of a preference, but...
I mean, the conflict is ongoing. Maybe we should go there first because that might not last too long.
That's
I mean,
the thing.
It's like we don't have to get it as long as it's like left over, like
Yeah, but remember, this is in a place full of mushrooms, and if I know my mushrooms, they
I mean,
they
but yes, but I
take
mean,
up that
if the battle is ongoing, then they keep each other busy because of the sneak in and sneak out, right?
yeah. I want to get to the conflict as soon as possible.
I mean that's a fair point that Roland is completely biased here.
Yeah.
I think that seems more urgent, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, hell, I can even scry Neverlight Grove, maybe. I do have that twice a day.
Roland wants, Roland, is merely basically trying to like get point across, like the road. We have to connect onto the road anyway to get down there quickly. The road's right there. Because trying to Branson would be very far, but it's him pushing to try and do it. But he can't go in alone. He knows he can't go in alone.
It seems to me that Mensa Branson is the big project here.
Yes.
Much bigger than all other things.
And if he's gonna take time constructing this thing, we need to get him ingredients before.
Yeah, and the Grimoire is the last thing he needs. And Roland admits that Roland doesn't want his family to, he doesn't want his family to get killed while we're going on doing other stuff.
Well, guess what? We're gonna have to wait it, I guess. I'm sorry, but
Yep.
it's
Just tough titties. We got our world to save.
You know, Isabella promised a while back that she'd help.
Oh, she'll help, but right now We gotta save
We're
a
helping.
world. Yeah.
By saving the world, we're helping.
Yeah.
Taking the Gesh approach to promises.
All right. I guess we'll travel. Got nothing else to do but to travel down to Neverlight Grove.
Did Neil show up at all?
No.
No, he's
Sick.
probably feeling too bad.
Okay. Well, see if I can-
We've been a little understaffed, as you understand.
Yeah, I get it. It's fine.
Though it's been a lot of asking questions. We've taken our time with everything.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I
But-
doubt.
We could have gone rushing on ahead, but none of us really wanted to if were like people missing.
No. Like it's better to like do big stuff when everyone's here anyway.
Also, could have been
Yes.
2 man down in combat, which means I would have been on full tank mode.
Yeah, that's not gonna work either.
Like I can go full tank. I've even action surge now, but I don't want to.
I think.
It's-
Yeah, I still think that moving down to Neverlight Grove will be fine as a start.
Yeah, the order of things that I would suggest.
Mhm.
We
I
never
would,
like
I would
growth
actually like
first.
if you would just like down here maybe write like as a note like the order of things you want to do,
Okay.
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 because then you remember it and I can look at it and like read up on the things that you might actually want to go do, so I don't have to read it while talking about it.
Yeah, let me just write down
Which would be-
all the
which would be-
ingredients.
Yes.
Demon.
And I think without Neil and with Jonas just having sort of arrived, it might be hard for him to make an informed decision. There's a lot of answers and things you've gotten that he will have no idea about. So
Oh.
having let's take actual time to think about this because
Yeah.
it is somewhat important. And,
The
we don't need to rush ahead with anything with the current setup of players.
there was a thing as well when we asked about the Neverlight Grove to see how that's actually progressing. We saw Stool and Rumpdump there, like asking for help.
As well as our old leaders trying to ask for help over the psychic waves they could emanate.
So Stool is at the Neverlight Grove.
Cirilla tried asking for divine intervention to save them. Didn't work.
Hello. That was worth a shot.
So I would say we go to the Neverlight Grove first. Hopefully get the demon blood.
Yep.
Then we swing back north for both the Beholder Eye and the Purple Worm Egg.
Yep.
Killing Xerax in process, which will be difficult. We swing northwest to meet with the Mind Flayer because I am very curious about what he has to say, and we have already weakened a bunch of the Demon Princes by foiling their plans. We didn't do that with Orcus yet, and it sort of feels reasonable to actually try to do something there. Maybe even get the Mind Flayers on our side rather than being on Orcus' side.
Sure.
Yep, I would agree.
Because we might need them to find out when well. So,
That sounds like a a lovely idea.
I mean, would you rather the Mind Flayers be against us in the final battle?
That's the things with Mind Flayers, like they're so utterly evil that it's difficult to imagine them doing anything to.
Well, you know, the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
It's true.
Yeah, I just hope the enemy is enemy enough that they actually realize that.
Yeah, then
So-
swing down to Angel Feathers.
Yeah, swing down, then we head down into the labyrinth to pick up some feathers, which should be an easy task because all we have to do is go, hey angels, the world is dying, we need your feathers, please.
I think
And
the
that
difficult
would
part.
work.
I think the difficult part is getting there
Yeah, it is the labyrinth.
and getting out.
So, yeah. After that, I'm hoping we can get the tin mask when we go into go play with Orcus a bit.
But if
Because
we do,
he has feet, I think.
but if not, we'll have to then swing around to that weird city.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
the
to
Dark
Sloop
Lake.
Loop Dop.
Which would mean we probably want to then take a boat north. Can we do that? That would.
I don't want to take a
No.
boat across. I don't want to take a boat across
Not-
the Dark Lake. That's not a good idea.
Not the Devil Manta Rays. Do you not remember those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, those
But
were
yeah,
horrible.
that's Well, that part of the plan is very far in the future, so we can do that.
We could just
But
go around.
this would be the order of things with going to Mensa Branson last.
I would agree.
Yeah, Roland's got objecting wanting to have it be higher up the list, but
We will take it into consideration.
yeah, even if because Roland will, he'll in the end he will end up following the group, but he's going to try pestering to get it higher up the list. Like maybe after the demon, maybe after getting the demon blood, maybe we can go up the road to Mensa Branson and then over to the Worm Rising.
We'll see.
But that's just him pestering. Can't force the group.
I am agreeing with the layout as they are.
It's sure. It seems fine to me. I couldn't really say, but yeah, it seems reasonable enough.
So we could then.
Gotta save our friends if they're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did have must find stall in capital letters, but then I changed it to stall in trouble because I thought just running in there with no plan would be stupid. But instead we're going to run in there with the plan to steal blood.
We could then go to the Neverlight Grove via Blindenstone, going like so basically, and then taking the road.
Yeah,
so we can set up an outpost in Blindenstone.
We also want to avoid Mensa Branson because Manakai said that they've got patrols right up to the edge, right where this tower is.
This tile here, this tile here, this tile here is all going to be their patrols.
So we want to avoid their patrols.
So we just go like so.
Yes. And hopefully get another giant crystal, giant diamond for raising dead, just in case.
If you're looking for gems, Laytonstone's the place to be.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never done a fantastic with gems. It's just a gnome thing, really.
Yeah. We'll pick one up as we're driving through.
Also, one slight bit of information that I think didn't come up yet. You know Peebles, right, Jonas?
Yes.
The little deep
Yes,
gnome or what it is. He is apparently somehow associated with that huge beholder, the Zarex the Eyemonger. I don't know how, but I assume he actually stole the gem for that guy. Or something like that. We definitely saw him when we inquired about the beholder in the library.
Beholder in Mental Death or the big one in the Worm
No,
Ravings?
the big one in the Worm Ravings.
Okay, so he's a servant of that guy, and he goes and steals the diamond of Mental Death to cause a purge.
I mean, the stealing part is entirely my theories. I assume he just needed the thing for his boss or something.
I mean, we can put into the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the fire up the old fire and brimstone? Get rolling there. Start poking at him. Big menace. So, that stuff.
Well, I think.
I don't trust. He seemed nice, but
Yeah.
trust no one, I guess.
I think we should go see our buddies in Blindstone. Right?
Sometime. We cleared up everything. I'm sure they're doing great.
I hope so.
They have to be doing great. We like
I
made peace and kill putting.
If they have fallen, I would be very upset because then we all the effort for nothing.
Well, you're not going to be able to kill them.
Crimes and racism all over the place.
Yeah.
There's no, actually, it's just an earthquake and the city fell down.
They're all
It's-
gone now.
Whoops! Plot happens. Oh
What
god.
happened, whatever you did, it doesn't matter at all. Oh well.
This is a video game.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan for what we'll do next time. actually get going with this this plan. I don't want to push too far ahead without letting
Yeah.
Malik actually know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Seems fine to me.
And you know,
Oh, I know.
I'm glad you got here to get some.
Yeah,
situation.
in the tail end of it.
Got the real tail end.
It's like it saved the group from itself.
Yeah. Did you
We're gonna
have
go
a
up
good
into
evening?
the North Icewind Mountains too?
Oh, yeah.
Do some fly fishing. You know?
And maybe stop that orc invasion.
Also, we should really kill off Cannibal Elf. He shouldn't be traveling with us, I think.
He is currently.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But he's all fine now.
Well,
No,
if he
no, he's not shit.
if he can survive until we get back over here, then we can send one
No,
of
the
the
thing is,
people from
He's
our
gonna-
outpost.
No, he's gonna betray us though, and like eat us.
I mean, he's not crazy anymore.
How on earth do you know?
He
I mean,
hasn't eaten any livers recently.
We know.
I mean, I'm sure.
what
Well,
he's
no, we
that
told
now.
people to keep an eye on him.
Right. Yeah, well, you know.
He's fine. Don't worry about it.
No,
Admittedly, to play on Jones's side here, just because I can. Remember when we were back in the library? Just saying the rooms were full of whatever we most wanted and hoped for.
Uh-huh.
Could have been full of livers.
You
A
remember?
room with only livers.
I mean, you could have had like an entire table of livers in there to eat.
Very good.
You wouldn't know.
I think we cured him, and he won't take this victory from me.
We didn't kill. We tried to kill him.
I mean, I actually do think we probably did cure him, but the point is, I like playing devil's advocate for also saying like we could be wrong.
You know,
it's the,
I-
if he like quirks an eyebrow in a way I don't like, I will kill him immediately.
I mean, you know, if nothing else,
Yeah,
Ron's also keeping an eye on him.
He has the Doom of Damocles, as I
Sure.
think it's called.
But if he manages to survive until we get over here from coming back from Mind Flayer, buddy, then he can go back to Gauntle Grim and the Order of the Emerald Enclave can deal with him.
Dwarven scouts trust him. They know him from the Emerald Enclave. Eldith does not, because she thinks he's been here down here for too long for anyone's good.
I think Eldith's madness is
Eldith
that she
also
doesn't trust
think
anyone.
that following the plan of a drow is inherently good at the end. That should be very wary of what we do with this mage. Following.
Does she trust anything?
I mean, I
If it's
agree.
evil and from the Underdark, she doesn't trust it.
The thing is, I completely agree with her. The problem is that this is the best plan I've heard so far.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
She doesn't know what else to do, but she
That's
just,
not.
you know,
Yeah, that's not
urges
saying much.
caution.
That's not saying much. I agree, because if it's an evil drow archmage, there's no limit to what he can and can't fathom. You know, maybe he's like, I'm
Sure.
summon more demon lords. There's a few there isn't here.
She-
You know,
Yeah, I mean, I did make the joking kind of remark to the group that we're being asked to create something called the Dark Heart here. I'm just like, this smells like a bit of a trap.
it's probably like it's like a burger. It's a really nice burger.
I mean,
with these,
It's a ritual to attract all the demon lords at once. If it has a like
I don't
If
think
it's
it's
more
going to
like
be
the-
called the Fluffy Bean Toast Sandwich.
the feather of innocence,
Yeah.
that wouldn't attract any demon criminals.
No, the Dark Heart definitely sounds like.
Like, I understand. I understand. Like, you know, I can yes, okay, this might actually be legitimate, but I have to at least have to make the kind of joke that, you know, it could be a trap.
It's true.
No, but yeah, it is the best. Like
We don't have a better option.
finally, a fucking archmage shows up and does something. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
I actually can do this. Elminster just smoked a pipe and left.
Yeah, because, you know, at least we have a plan on the table that at least sounds reasonable to us.
It seems like something he can do, probably. I mean, you know, Liam is no archmage, but
I mean, nothing sounds outrageous about this. You know, just using the same ritual to attract them together. Like, it doesn't sound outrageous.
right. In comparison, it doesn't. You know, if you heard this up at the surface, you would be like, "Oh, you silly! Oh, you silly
Yeah,
man!"
for what we know and and how resilient we know the demon lords are, having them lower each other's resistances and beat each other to death is probably the best option we do have.
Go home, Archmage, you're drunk, we would say up in this. But down here, we're like, no, this is perfect.
It's
It's
very
reasonable,
good.
actually.
I'd
Yes, yes.
rather have you one-on-one
Fun.
and fight every demon lord. Full
All right. Now that we're
I
on,
mean, we tried to stop one and it didn't work, so we need to weaken them somehow in the scene.
And instead of having to fight, 8 of them, how about we just fight one?
So, but what does a fight between the Queen of Rot and Jubilex look like? I mean, it's just blobs. Are they just
well,
well, we'll
well,
find
well,
out.
Well, we have seen like early parts where we've seen like the Neverlight Grove is covered in a number of like slimes that are like consuming parts of it, though he
Yeah.
himself's not there yet. But
I am going to turn off the stream recording as we're just in the banter, talking back and forth
what?
section.
Stream? No.
Bye stream, bye recording.
I hope you guys had an interesting time.